Morning, folks. It is 8:55 on a beautiful Saturday morning. I'm running some errands, but I wanted to make a quick video while I'm running those errands regarding the post that I made yesterday about prep time and world building. And I wanted to really take this opportunity to kind of deep dive into what I believe is appropriate prep time and really what should be included in your prepping. So first and foremost, all this is subjective to what I've experienced as a DM. So, take what you can from this. I really encourage you to take what you can, but if it doesn't work for you, that's not a bad thing either. It's not going to really, this piece of advice is not going to be the end all be all, but I've learned that what I'm saying right now, or what I'm going to say rather, has helped me as a DM on multiple occasions. So step one, figure out what you're preparing for. So are you preparing for combat, or are you preparing for a role-playing heavy session? If you're preparing for combat, then definitely go ahead and prep to your heart's content. If you are wanting to ambush the party and make a really cool design and, have some really cool dialogue regarding the evil NPCs with the party and how they interact, go for it. Have a little script ready and everything. I don't care. I've done that, and it's worked really well. It's been really fun to actually run it in that way, where you kind of have everyone knows you're going into combat, so it's okay for your evil NPC to say something really cool or badass or really, epic at that moment. I think it's a really cool and really fun idea to have that script dialogue with the party. Now, for role-playing sessions, I think one should be prepared when entering your session. A lot of times we, as audience members, as other DMs, as players, whatever you want to categorize yourself, we really start to think in a script as if it was a movie or a TV show or any type of other entertainment. And although D&D is entertaining, it's not any of those at the moment. Yes, there's Critical Role. Yes, there's the chain and the chain reaction and whatnot with Matt Colville. Yes, there's Acquisitions Incorporated, and those are all great shows and live events, and it's awesome. I love each and every one of those shows, but I want you to remember, as I've stated before, historically, that you are not Matt Mercer, you're not Chris Perkins, you're not Matt Colville. You are you. You are you as a DM. You are an individual, and you're unique, and your DMing style is going to be unique. So, when it comes to heavy role-playing, I would honestly just prepare for two things. One, prepare the subject matter that you're going to be talking about, or that your party is going to be talking about based upon maybe the previous session. Be prepared for that. Research it. Or you're the DM and you're creating the world, if this is obviously a homebrew world, you're creating it. You can decide what you want it to be. So, be the subject matter expert. Be the person that knows exactly what they're talking about. Now, second, whoever the NPC is that's facilitating or that is participating in that conversation with the party, prep them. Have their race and class and perhaps role figured out and ready, and everything else is kind of subjective. What do I mean by that? Well, let's say this NPC meets your party at a bar. That doesn't mean that they're the barkeep, but that doesn't mean that they are specifically, a paladin knight of the 5th Order going into the tavern to just specifically meet you, unless that is what your what your NPC is. It could just be a merchant or a patron of the bar, or just some random person that has no association, again, a patron of the bar, and is, having this dialogue with your party. Whatever you decide. The reason I like to keep that general and open is because a lot of times my party is a bit unpredictable. What I think they're doing, or what I think they're going to be doing, turns out to be that they don't do that at all. They completely pretty much overlook maybe a certain Easter egg that I laid intentionally, and they overlook it. So hours of prep that I spent and worked on is kind of irrelevant for that situation. So, like I said, I personally vow to everyone that when you take the approach of, instead of prepping each session and dedicating time to prep each session, it's easier to just focus that time on building your world, because 95 to 99% of the prep time is going to be eliminated since you already know your world. And it's going to naturally spur for you to create NPCs. For example, in my current campaign, the world of Ecopia, that is the name of the world, Legalheim, which is, the main human capital and main human kingdom, is on the lower east coast. It's on the southeast coast of the Ecopian continent. So I know that the city of Legalheim is on the coast for the most part. It's a port city, and it is the largest human capital in the world, in existence. And I know that there are, about 51-52% humans, and then there is a sporadic mix of different races within the capital because of the lore behind it. So Legalheim was created as a free city for all free folk, to collaborate, to find and really unite all the races that weren't objectively evil. I know this because I created it. So if my players ever ask, hey, Brian, where does Legalheim get its trade from? What is its imports and exports? I can say, well, they import precious metals from the Dwarven kingdoms, and then they export a lot of grain, wheat, a lot of harvest, because they are, towards the more northeast part of their territory. There's a lot of fertile lands, and even pretty much at the edge or around the edge of their kingdom, there's a lot of fertile territory. So knowing that, I can say, okay, I have a list of random NPCs, and again, I posted this a couple of days back of different NPCs based upon their roles and jobs, and providing, different names, but also different specific job duties. So like farmers, plowmen, milkmaids, XYZ. So I can pull from that and say, yeah, Milkmaid Marie is, and I know it's triple M's, but the Milkmaid Marie, or the Milkmaid name, or even the plowman named John, Jahn, serves that land in Legalheim as one of the top plowmen, and has worked its way up from a plowman to become one of the most, successful merchants. I don't know, that's just something off the top of my head. But because I already have that knowledge, because I've already created those characters and created that land and that story and the lore and everything else, aka the world, I can easily come up with something off the cuff. So, in my opinion, I believe preparing your world and creating your world is actually a lot more efficient than actually prepping for the session by session, and going into such granular detail. That's just me. That's my opinion. It works for me when I, flesh out the world first and then prepare for the session based upon the previous session. So if my players want to find out what dragons are and what type of dragons are, and we didn't have enough time to go into that, I'll prepare the next session that we have. I'll make sure that I have information regarding dragons. So, like I said, that's my opinion and that's my advice regarding prep time and world building. If you did like what I was talking about, and if you agree with what I'm talking about, awesome. If you don't agree, awesome, no problem. Everything's going to be subjective. So either way, thank you all for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Check out more of my content on YouTube. Again, it's the Bearded Nerd channel. And until next time, keep gaming.